Once again, my name is Olainka Aremu. Welcome to this Zoom webinar. It's a pleasure. And the topic given to me is personal growth. I want to assume that all of us here are nurses or maybe in the medical line. So you pardon, I won't be able to, when I'm speaking medical jargons is allowed. So personal growth, personally, for me, is not something that is it's a process. It's not something that you can just jump into according to that term, personal. So, and then it's a growth. So it's all about you yourself, and as well, it is about how you go to the next step. It's a process. So I actually, for those of you that know and those that doesn't know, I finished from OAU Ile-Ife before coming down to Ireland. I worked, the last time I worked before leaving Nigeria was in Seventh-day Adventist School of Nursing as a lecturer, and then I got myself here anyways. So life alone itself is a journey. I'm going to share a screen with you right now, some of the slides I make, and I hope it's clear enough for you to see. All right. So personal growth is a process, like I said. Can you see my screen?
Yes, you can see, man.
Okay. So the topic is how high can you go? Push yourself to get ahead. When I got this topic, I said to the person that sent to me that, oh my God, why will you send this topic to me? I'm still growing, so I don't think I'm in the best position to deal with this topic. But I suppose it's also an opportunity for me, myself, to learn and also to grow. So this actually gave me opportunity to actually learn more while I was preparing for this presentation. So personal growth, you can just picture as a flower grows. That's the picture I have there. They're in stages. So you see from when you plant a seed and then you water it and then it starts growing and you nurture it, you feed the seed, you feed it even while it's still under the soil. You feed, and then when it starts propping up, you want to protect it from weeds, you want to protect it from anything that could damage the seed. And then you see the flowers start propping up flowers. It start petals and all that beautiful colors. And the stages goes like that. And at a particular time as well, you see the flower already full blown. That's where people really appreciate the beauty of the flower. As well, the growth can also be likened to when you're taking a step, when you're climbing a step, and like you're trying to go from one level to the other. So you're starting from a low platform and then you're taking it to the next platform, and you realize that the more you go, the more you take the step, the bigger the challenges, the bigger the platform. That's why it's a step. You don't want to climb a staircase from the upper part, so you start from below. Now, some other people also term personal growth to be, some can look at it as the more you learn. That's why I have the picture of the books there. The more you learn, the more experience you gather, the more knowledge you gather, and all that. Now, but like I said when I started, it is personal. So it is all about you. It is not about what other people do. Although sometimes you can borrow, you can learn from other people's experience, which is why we are here today. So, most successful people, they place a great deal of importance on personal growth and development. I know we have spent a lot of time waiting, so I will not waste our time so much. So what does personal growth mean to you? It could be a process of spiritual, physical, and social access where you grow for a lifetime, active learning, development, of skill and formal education and all that. To some people, they say that the best leaders are the best learners, because if you want to be a leader, you need to learn so that you can grow. And personal growth definitely need to be intentional. So the world today is filled with volatility, uncertainty, complexity, ambiguity. There's a lot of things going on around the world, and you see how things change. So the way you grow as well have to change. The way the plan to grow has to change. So I remember the word of Bob Johansson. He described personal growth in a way like you keep asking questions, you keep revising your goals, you keep building on your knowledge base. John Maxwell also point out that personal growth does not just happen, like you must have a plan for it. So we are going to have a plan. I mentioned to Charles before we started that please, we are going to have an activity section here. Like I said, personal growth has to have a plan. You have to plan for it. Now, contrary to what most people think, that, well, my company or where I work should have a plan. Some people will ask these questions even at interview level, that what do you have for me? What are the development plan you have for your staff? But I also want to say that no one but you will take responsibility for your growth. So it is very important. That is why it is called personal. Now, a lot of definitions, some other words has been used simultaneously with personal growth. Like when you're talking about professional growth, personal development, and professional development. So some of these words are used interchangeably, but they are different. But I would say that personal growth is a process by which a person, him or herself, recognizes him or herself and continually develop himself or herself to reach his or her full potentials. Now, before you can reach your own personal growth, of course, you will need to grow professionally and you need to develop professionally. So professional growth and professional development all makes up to what we call the personal growth. So you will need your professional development as nurses, as doctors, as healthcare practitioners. You will need to grow in your profession, and this will enhance your own personal growth. So professional growth is all about you gaining new skills and experiences as you go on along the line. And it's also, you have to fit this into your career. So if you're a nurse, if you're a doctor, you have to grow within your career. You have to grow within your career. That is when you can actually say, I'm growing. So when you expand your skills beyond your current role, then you are preparing yourself for more. And, that may make you more valuable to other employers. So I say to people, wherever you are now, right, whatever you are doing right now, make sure you are growing. Make sure you are doing something else. Avoid stagnation in your career. Don't just say, well, I think I'm okay. You've been looking for public health job. You've been looking for that federal government job, and now you have it and you feel like, well, I have it. You need to continue to grow because, like I said, the world is full of ambiguity, of volatility, of changes. So you need to change with time. Okay, so there are some things that personal growth are not. So, contrary to what some people view it as to, personal growth is not perfection, nor a destination. So that was why I said I might not be the best person to take this, but at the same time, it's not looking about perfection. It is a process. So it is not about you being better than everyone else. It is about just you. It is momentarily, meaning it only benefits you in the moment. It can change. So personal growth is not just about you or for you. You have to grow for others. So the end game of personal growth, there has to be some form of impact where you can impact other people. So for personal growth, it's never too late, even if it is your first time. So if you feel like I'm still in the same level, it is not too late. So you can actually make a good time doing a new thing. So I'm trying to caution myself from saying praise the Lord. All right, so there are 5 stages of personal growth according to Christine Hasley. So the first stage is when you're asleep. So I said most of us, because we are here right now, or you are listening to this episode right now, you might not be in this stage. Most people at sleep stage, they play victim, they assume that they have no power, they place blame, they lack fulfillment, they always blame other people for their lack of growth. So at some point, we realize that we are in control of our lives. So if you are at this stage where you still blame people, where you still feel like the government is not doing enough, or nursing profession is not where it's supposed to be, the whole economy is broken, you are at the sleep stage. So you need to grow away from there. So I believe everyone listening to me right now, you are not at this stage because you are trying to make changes. The second stage is the awakening stage. This is where we want to learn from other experiences. We want to look for answers like we are doing now. Some people are looking for answers. We want to connect the dots. We want to recognize that it's all about learning and finding our true self. So I'm going to share some experience with you personally. The third stage is integration. Look, see, in this stage, we shift from knowing to doing. We don't just only know we want to do. We want to roll up our sleeves and make things happen. Sometimes when you're in a particular place and nothing is happening, you feel so uncomfortable. That means you are at this integration stage. So you want to change the belief system of people. You want to make things happen. The other stage is acceptance. At this stage of acceptance, we stop fighting with reality, and then we feel like, okay, this is how the things is. I can't change this, but I can make do with whatever I have. We are happy with ourselves, and you no longer slaves to our impulses. So because you have reached that stage where you feel like I am making an impact. Application and service stage is a stage that is about a bigger vision where you are now changing the lives of others. So those are the 5 stages. Now I'm going to say this clearly. There is no one-size-fits-all model for personal growth. So the way Mr. A grow, the steps it takes might be different, or definitely different from what Mrs. B would take. So what you need to do is that when your expectation hangover triggers awareness of a problem or new insights, then you are discovering yourself. So I want us to just resonate on this, that personal growth is about me. It's about me making an impact. Whatever some people used to say, you can't give what you don't have. So if you want to make an impact, you definitely need to get something into yourself. You definitely need to grow, because it is possible for those that you think you're imparting, you're leading, you're mentoring. If you are not growing, they could outgrow you. Yes, so it is important that we keep that in mind. Now, I was saying people use personal growth, professional development, and all that. So for you to grow personally as a professional, then you need to grow professionally. So it is your responsibility, and it helps you to build and maintain your morale even in your organization. I work at the moment, I work in the emergency department. I've never actually envisioned myself working in the A&E, because right from undergraduate, I don't like anything rush. I like to take my time. But when you are in a place, you need to flow with the flow of things. But if you feel like this is not me, then you need to shift, you need to move. So if you are not growing where you are, that means your organization might not feel your impact. I was speaking with my manager. I was trying to say, okay, I'm here. How can I be useful? A&E has never really been my thing. I'm more into the community, public health, academics, and all that. So we had to look for a way to see where my interests can come up in, even as an A&E nurse. So, and then I started focusing on the discharge planning and all that in A&E. So what am I trying to say? You really need to grow professionally for you to grow personally. There are some formal ways to continue to learn. A lot of us know about this. The first speaker, I joined the WhatsApp discussion just for a few minutes because I thought I was presenting on the 3rd day initially. So on the 3rd, I thought it was the 3rd, not the 3rd day. So You can grow by formal education. So we've had people move from being an RN to getting their degrees. Brilliant. Kudos to you. And some people started, you can achieve different certification in nursing specialty. There are a lot of specialty in nursing. Even in Nigeria, you have a lot of specialty. Outside Nigeria, a lot. Another way you can grow, another form where you can continue to learn is to join professional network. This is a professional network by the XBI. It's a good one. So it's another way to grow. Reading journal articles. I need to ask, how many of you read journal articles? How many of you read research articles? So that is another way to, because the more you read this, the more you go into this, you're going to discover new things that can steer your interests, and then you want to go into it. Yes. So another way you can grow as in this busy world is to listen to podcasts and audiobooks. Now, I'm saying all this, that doesn't mean I'm doing everything myself. But then, like I said, no one size fits all. So you do what fits what you feel you can have control and you can sustain. So listening to podcasts, audiobook, listening to professional information can help you prepare for your growth. Now, one other thing that people might not really have access to in their place of work is attending national conferences or seminars. Now, why I would say that, I will encourage every managers, every institutions to promote this. I also want to say to individuals, if your place of work, they are not organizing conferences or seminars, please go out yourself and source for one and pay for it yourself. Everything free. We shouldn't be looking for free things every time. I know a lot of us, we like free things. You're looking for free seminar, you're looking for free tutorials and all that. But remember, there is nothing free. Somebody definitely paid for it. So if you actually want to grow more, try to pay for some professional things yourself. That can help you along the way. So what are the steps? What are the strategies that we can make use of to grow? I have 5 more minutes for the presentation, and then we can ask questions. So the first thing is to set a clear goal about what you want to achieve. I remember the first speaker mentioned something about you setting a goal. So once you have a clear goal, then you find it easier to manage your personal and professional development. Now, for instance, I'm going to be making use of myself as an example. Like I said, I have not reached there. I've not what will I call it in quotes, arrived. But I'm growing. But along the way, you look for your strengths. You know where your strength lies. So a clear goal I personally set for myself way back as an undergraduate was that I want to be a nurse leader in the future. And how did I come about that? I remember, all the textbooks we used to read then, they are all foreign, most of them are foreign textbooks. And I just picture like some people wrote these textbooks for God's sake. Why can't I also be in the environment where they have all the resources, all the equipment and all that? So that was where the definition of the goal started coming in. And you see, you now start building yourself along the goal that you have set. So you start looking for opportunities along the goals that you have set. So it's very important that you set a goal. So you also need to be intentional and plan your development. Nothing comes by accident. Honestly, I know some people believe in luck. Some believes, well, it's favor. Yeah, I'm a Christian. I believe in favor. But then you need to be intentional with what you do. So one of the best ways to develop yourself is to ensure you keep learning. You work out the training plan for the year. Even if you want to say 1 training or 2 trainings in a year, look for this training. If you have to pay for anyone yourself, pay. If you have sponsorship, fine. So aim to complete at least 1 piece of significant training each quarter. You should also look for and take the right opportunities. You also need to find opportunities look for opportunities yourself. I'll just stop sharing for a while. You see, myself, when I wanted to come to Ireland, I wasn't even thinking about Ireland. All my mind was in US or UK or Canada and all that. But what did I do? I kept studying for IELTS because I know that anyone that comes, either I go for schooling, I tried to go for masters, I was denied visa. Okay, but then I just got this opportunity came. But because I was prepared, I had my IELTS with me. So it was a quick opportunity that I just grabbed, and I landed here within 6 months. So what am I trying to say is that you need to prepare yourself for any opportunity that might come. So I'll go back to my slides. Okay, so you need to look for and take opportunities. That is that. Then the next one, you need to discuss your career plans with your manager. Most of us, I know we can be very skeptical about this. Well, I don't want anybody to know what I'm doing. I don't want anybody to know my plans. But if you want to grow professionally, I tell you, you need to discuss your career plan with your manager. Like I said, I did something here myself when I was initially working in an elderly specialty, which I so much love. But then there was a need for, to balance staff. They were short in the A&E and they were looking for staff. So the manager approached me, the director of nursing approached me. I'm like, okay, will you like to go? I just came out. I said, I've never worked in the A&E, but then I can always, learn and adapt. I want that opportunity. And I got there. I was supposed to stay there, to just be there for 3 months and then decide if I want to go. But after 3 months, I got interested in a way. Like I could make out something from being an A&E nurse to suit my interest, to suit my goal, which is in the area of care transition, discharge planning of patients back home from the A&E. So I sat down. You have to sit down with your manager to discuss this. And it helps if your manager is on board with your career plan. So it helps you to grow. So the other thing is you need to set goals and measure your progress. So many of us don't do this. We just keep doing packing certificates and all that. Measure your progress as you go. There are a lot of things. We are going to get to the aspect of portfolio where some certificates, some trainings might not really fit into your goal, even though you have acquired them. So, as a plan for professional growth, you need to have what we call personal professional development plan. Now, so many institutions have this, but the application is what is questionable. So, a personal professional development plan, it's a collaboratory process between the nurse and usually the manager. So, but I'm just going to focus on the aspects of the nurse or the healthcare worker in this particular instance. So, for you to have a personal professional development plan for yourself, you can use what we call the self-assessment SWOT analysis tool. So many of us are familiar with this tool, where the SWOT means your strengths, your weakness, your opportunities, and the threats. So these are tools that you will use to identify your strengths, your opportunities, your weakness, and your threats. Now, what do we mean by strengths? Your strength lies in what aspects are you best at. Look inward, look at yourself. Yeah, there are a lot of specialties in nursing, healthcare, professionalism and all that. Which aspects are you best at, and the care you can give? You need to look at that. Have you had any positive feedback from people? Yes, I've had a lot of people tell me that you don't belong here. You don't belong in the air. You don't belong in the clinic as you belong to classroom. Oh, you belong here. You hear people tell you about this. So, what positive feedback have you had? You need to keep an eye on that as well. What do you think you are most valued for? Either from a patient, relatives, from other nurses, and the likes. So we really need to look at this. These are your strengths. What are your concerns about your practice that's talking about your weaknesses. You need to look at where am I deficient? What aspect do I need to improve on? Has anybody said like, oh, you need to grow on this, you need to develop more on this? So focus on that as well. How can your personal and professional development enhance the quality of the service you provide? Those are the opportunities you start looking for. Like I mentioned to you, in the A&E where I work now, when I got there, I realized that there are a lot of, I wrote myself, I did some evidence-based practice research modules, and then we were told to organize journal article, journal club and all that, which was new to me, but it was a positive thing that I learned alongside organizing a journal club. So we did that, and one of the things that we brought out from there was that discharge communication practices need to be improved. So even though I was working in an A&E, I had to carve a niche for myself in that area to focus on the discharge communication and the care transition process of patients that come into the A&E. So that is what I'm trying to say. You need to look out for opportunities that can enhance your professional personal development. So you can also look at any innovative idea that you have recently had. I'm so enthralled, I'm so like amazed at some of the Nigerian nurses that were very innovative, especially with this COVID-19. I'm always following any Nigerian nursing network. There's a lady that innovated or tried to produce, the face shield and all that. So just look at innovative ideas that you can work on. Those are your opportunities. And of course, there are threats. There will be some barriers which can be at different stage, managerial stage. There can be obstacles all this way. So look at these and see what you can do. So I have an activity here. We're going to take this for 10 minutes. Just look at the screen because I'm going to stop sharing. I know we have about how many people here now? 10? Okay, so make it easier. We are going to pair ourselves into three. Pair ourselves into three using the chat group. So you can use the chat box there. Identify an idea, a task or project for a 1 year goal. Remember we said you have to set a goal. So just think of one, an idea, task or project for a 1 year goal. And then the third one, you're going to use the SWOT analysis that we said that to develop a personal professional development plan. That is the activity we are going to do right now. So just 5 minutes, and I want us to do this and then come back. Can everybody hear me? Okay, so 10 minutes so we can do it properly. So Pierre, use my eyes are on the chat group, the chat, this thing there, I'm looking at it. So let's discuss this and see. Identify an idea. Maybe you have something in your mind before. Pair with somebody, discuss it with somebody, write in the group chat there. And then using the SWOT analysis, just look at what are the strengths, what are the things that could be opportunity, could be the strength for that idea. What are the other things that could be the weakness or the threats, and what opportunities are available for this idea or the project you are thinking of. So 10 minutes. Have we started?